Humble Homestead and Gardenside Chat. So today I am going to go over some leftover ideas that you can do with a roast. The other day I made a roast beef in my slow cooker, and I have plenty of leftovers here because it is just me. So a lot of times with my leftovers, I will turn them into other meals. Now, I have done this in the past when my kids were little. I was feeding a family. I would stretch my roast. I would get a big roast, especially when they're on sale, and then I would take the leftovers and make them into other meals. So I'm just going to show you other options that you can do with your leftovers to make your pennies stretch, make your meals stretch, make it, number one, easy so you can have several different meals out of one. Two, then, you know, when you see roasts on sale, you can pick up, you know, different kinds of meats. That's what I try to do. So I get my meats obviously from, you know, Seven Sons. But if I see organic meats on sale at, say, like Aldi or Walmart or Costco, I will stock up on them. So that is also another way that you can save money. I'm using a beef roast. You can do it with pork roast. You can do it, and it doesn't matter what kind of meat you use. So if you cook it in the slow cooker, or if you just cook it right where it's slow and it falls apart, it works no matter what. One thing that my kids, so when, for some reason, when my kids were young, I did not like barbecue sauce. The smell of it, it bothered me. I don't know why, I just didn't. And back then, when my kids were little, it was all about fast, easy, whatever I could get out. So when I would make a roast in the crock pot, I would just take the leftover meat. We generally would have gravy with it. So I would empty out my slow cooker or whatever. I would take the leftover meat, it would shred it up, and I would just dump a bottle of barbecue sauce in there. And they loved that. I mean, they loved barbecue meat, barbecue pork, or a beef roast over sandwiches. And then I would just add some sides with it, and they would be happy campers. That's just kind of one of their favorite things. So on that note, I am going to make some homemade, super easy honey barbecue sauce. Now, I am not going to take my meat and put it in barbecue sauce. I'm just going to show you how to make this barbecue sauce, because tomorrow I am going to do some more freezer prep meals, and I'm going to use this barbecue sauce for one of those. So this is super, super easy. It takes a half a cup of honey. So I was emptying out my honey jar here. And so it's going to take 6 ounces of tomato paste. Now, tomato paste is something that I really don't know how to make. So I do have the concentrate that I get, the little organic concentrate, or Aldi does have good deals on tomato paste. You can get organic tomato paste at Aldi if you ever go there. So 6 ounces of tomato paste, and I'm just doing it all in a mason jar. I'm going to keep it in the fridge because, like I said, I'm using it tomorrow. But you can keep it, I think it's good for up to 2 weeks in the fridge. Otherwise, you know, if you make it and you don't use, I mean, usually I just make it and use it right up. But you can freeze this as well. But like I said, if you're just making it for your leftover meals and you use it in your meat, that works amazing. So I'm using this tomato paste, and then let's put my glasses on so I can see what the ingredients are. 3/4, and they're all steamy because I'm doing this all before work. So I just got out of the shower, I'm having my coffee with you. This is real life, people. But I'm really enjoying spending my time with you. I appreciate the comments, and you guys are really enjoying these meal preps. So that's why I'm doing more of them. And hey, it's stocking up my freezer, so I love it too. All right, so 3/4 cup, it does say white vinegar. I have this apple cider vinegar. I'm going to use it. Since it's a kind of a sweet-based barbecue sauce, I think it will be just fine. 3/4 of a cup of vinegar. But if you have white vinegar, go ahead and use white vinegar. Whoop, let's not spill, let's not spill the mixture. I may have to. I wonder if I should have gotten the big mason jar. Let's see, and then the half a cup of honey, which is in there. 3 tablespoons of molasses. 3 tablespoons of molasses. And I did that video, I'll link it below, on the secret superfood, and it was this unfiltered molasses that has so many benefits. I've been trying, I haven't been real faithful about doing it every day, but I've been trying to just take a tablespoon a day, even if I just put it in my tea or my oatmeal or something. This has so much magnesium, selenium, calcium. It's amazing. I just got a big gallon-sized tub of this on Amazon. So it's tons full of minerals. And you know, we are so magnesium deficient, you guys. This is one way to sneak it in, and it's kind of sweet. You can give it to your children too if you want to put it in their oatmeal or whatever. It's a good way to sweeten their things naturally, and it does have a very low glycemic index. So, you know, if you struggle with some sugar issues or whatever, it does not spike your blood sugar. So yeah, look into that. So we're doing 3 tablespoons of molasses. But you can use your if you want to go super easy breezy and you have your own barbecue sauce, you can just mix that up as well. I didn't have a little plate there to stick that on. You can certainly do that and, you know, just dump barbecue sauce in your shredded meat, and there you have a super easy leftover meal. 2 teaspoons of mustard. I am not one to eat mustard in here. I honestly only, well, okay, I have it, 1 for when my kids come for a barbecue because they eat mustard, and I also have it just for when I cook. All right, so we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of mustard, which is something that I don't normally even buy because it's not something that I eat. This comes out kind of small. There we go. So what did I say? 2 teaspoons. Oh, 2 teaspoons. So there we go. That's definitely plenty then, which is fine with me. Not a big mustard fan, but mustard does also have turmeric in it. So there we go. 2 teaspoons of mustard, 1.5 teaspoon of garlic powder. Just gonna dump a little bit in there. I save my containers, and then when I buy this stuff in bulk, I just reuse these. 1.5 teaspoon of onion powder. There we go. And salt and pepper. So now I'm gonna mix this up, and then I'm gonna shake it. And this is just one of the ways that we can make our own things. And, you know, they don't have the MSG in them. You know, they're GMO free. So it's, let me smell it. Oh, it does smell really good, you guys. And I'm not a big, huge barbecue sauce fan person. So anyway, here it looks like that. So this you can mix with your meat. I am going to put this in my fridge and use it for a recipe tomorrow. So I showed you how to make it. Got to mix up that honey in there in the bottom. And then we will move on to what I am going to make with this leftover roast. All right? Okay. So another really easy thing you could do, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make a meat pie. I saw a recipe for this. It looked wonderful, and I thought that's what I want to do with this. So I'm going to make that with this, but a couple other things you could do if you just wanted to do some easy things with your leftover. So the barbecue meal is super easy. That's one easy thing you can do. You can do grilled meat sandwiches. You can just grill, do cheese, do like sliced sauteed vegetables in there. That's always a good one. If you make gravy, I didn't make gravy, I just have the leftover juice in here. But if you make gravy, because I used to make gravy with my kids, used to like that, you can just take, like, you know, if you have the leftover carrots and potatoes and celery, onions, all of that, chop up the meat into little pieces, mix it all back into the gravy, and you have beef stew. There you go. Now, I have beef stew in my freezer that I've made, so that's good. Another thing you could do is you can mix the meat with the gravy and have hot beef sandwiches. You can, you know, mash up your leftover mashed potatoes. You could also put it over egg noodles and have kind of like a stroganoff-y. I mean, you can add sour cream to it and make it more stroganoff, but you can just put it over egg noodles. So those are all super easy ways you can just make extra meals out of those. But today, I am going to make a meat pie out of this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my leftover vegetables that I have here. I'm going to saute them for a very brief moment because they're already cooked in butter. And I sometimes will take, if I have any leftover stuff in the fridge, and use it up too. So I have this leftover tomato that I'd gotten at the farmer's market, and I'm going to just cut this up into chunks, and I'm going to put it in my little chopper here thing because I want it into smaller, diced pieces. Let's not lose it. So let me show you how this thing works, you guys. It's so awesome. I got it on Amazon. I'm sure they probably have different ones, but I love this because it makes my chopping so easy. So I just put, let me see if I can, I just put 2 pieces in like this, okay? And then I'm just gonna press down. There we go. Then I just push down 1 time, and there I have diced tomatoes right in the bottom. Super easy breezy. So you can do that with any vegetables, but it's just push down once, done. 1 more, push down, done. I love it because I have plates in this arm, so chopping a lot is kind of not easy for me. So that works out great. So I'm going to take all these, I'm just going to dice them up in some, I'm going to dice them up. They're diced. I'm going to saute them up in some butter, then saute the meat. Then for spices, I'm going to add a little bit of, I have some garlic in there already and onions. So I'm going to add, I think I'm going to put a little bit of tomato paste and some water. Mix that up. I'm going to put a little bit of flour in there just to kind of thicken it. And then when I'm done, I will come back and show you how I make the crust for it. So I will be back in a moment. Okay, so I am back. This butter is just about to the point where it is over melted. I'm going to throw the veggies in here. I'm just going to chop up, these are the ones from the roast, so they're already tender. And I'm going to throw my potatoes in with, my tomatoes that I diced up in there. And with that, I'm going to get some salt and pepper. Just a little bit of salt and some pepper. Then I'm going to add the meat to it. Wondering if I'm going to have enough to make 2 pies here. It's kind of a lot. And I'm just going to add a little bit of my tomato paste concentrate here that I have. And sometimes at this point I would add some water, but I think I have enough water from the tomatoes that I don't know that I'll need any. So I'm just going to let this cook down for a minute. Probably should use my Dutch oven. This is kind of a small pan for it here. I didn't know it was going to be so much. Oh goodness. Just getting this mixed up. I'm just going to put a little bit of flour in it just to thicken it a bit. So let's just make a nice mess on my stove here. Wouldn't be me cooking without a mess, would it? Some of these meat pieces are still pretty big, so I'm just kind of shredding them up in here. You can shred them up before, but I kind of figured they would kind of shred up in here when it was, I had them cold, but when the roast comes out warm, I usually just kind of shred it up that way, but since it was cold, it shreds up a lot quicker when it's warm, or easier. So this is getting nice and thick. You can add whatever kind of seasonings you want. My roast was pretty seasoned, so that's why I didn't add a lot more besides a little bit of the tomato paste. I normally would put Worcester sauce in here, but that's one of the things that's on my list for tomorrow. So I would put a little bit of that as well in here. So that looks like it's about good. Mix the rest of this flour in here. And this is going to be the meat pie filling here. But like I said, you can, you know, if you don't have all these leftover vegetables, or if you want to make the stew and use these vegetables up for a stew, and you have like a huge leftover roast and you want to use, you know, you can use frozen mixed vegetables if you want to in here. That works well too. So I'm just going to take that off the heat. Okay, so I kind of thought I might have enough to make 2 pies. So I just buttered up 2 of my glass pie dishes here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the liquid, my drippings from my roast, and I'm going to put them in my KitchenAid here. That's going to be kind of the base juice for my crust. Although I need all of it. And then to that, I am going, and what I did is I took some of the leftover potatoes and I just kind of mashed them with my masher, because I'm going to add those in too at the end. I had 1 egg, but I think I'm going to get another egg because I definitely think I have enough to make 2 crusts here. I'm going to get this kind of mixing slowly. I'm going to add I have 2 cups of flour here. But like I said, I may need more. Put your seasonings in there too. I put some salt and pepper and then 2 eggs. Normally it would be 1 egg, but like I said, I'm doubling it because I have a lot of filling. 2 teaspoons of baking powder in there. And now I'm going to add my potatoes. Okay, now there are some lumps in there from the potatoes, but the flour mixture is all mixed up good. So then, this is about the texture. I like it. Sometimes I put a little milk in it too if it needs it, but I don't think it needed. Maybe I will put a little bit of milk in there and I'll just mix it with a spatula. I put about 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of milk in there. Can you tell how I do my recipes? I usually wing it as I go. So I'm going to mix that milk in there really good. The milk just kind of makes it a little bit fluffier. Keeps it from being too dry. All right, so now I'm just going to put a little bit of crust at the bottom of each pan. A bit to kind of layer the bottom of it. Give it just a little bottom crust there. So, you know, just about this much. And then I'm going to divide the meat mixture between both of my, yeah, I definitely have plenty of meat mixture. Then I'm going to divide, oh, it smells really good. Divide the meat mixture between, oh my gosh, I still have more, you guys. I could probably make 3 of these, or we'll make them nice and stuffed. There we go. Guess I'll have one to freeze. All right, then I top, so the meat mixture looks like this. Then I'm going to top them with the 1/2 on each of the pie mixture. Now, optional, if you want to add like Parmesan cheese to the top and stuff, you can. I personally don't want cheese on mine. I like it just like this. And then, oops, I forgot to preheat my oven. So I'm gonna preheat my oven to 350 and bake it for about 45 minutes to an hour. I check it about 45 minutes. And then, you know, just depending on how the crust looks. The meats and stuff are already done, so we're good with that. We basically just want the crust to be nice and done and crispy. And I will show you the finished product. That's how we do some leftover pot roast. And the barbecue sauce I'll use for some more dump and freeze meals tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and be blessed. If you like these, please like and share. Let me know if there's other ones you want to see. Have a great day, and I will show you the finished product after. See ya.